I'm Norm Burdick, and I'm part of the Humanities Department. I have been at Sandburg for 30 fun years. Before that, I taught part-time at the University of Wisconsin-Parkside, and before that, I substitute taught in public schools in Racine. It was all fun, but the public school part was sometimes a little too lively. I have a Bachelor of Arts from Carleton College, which is in the same conference as Knox here in town, or at least it used to be. And I have a Master's and a PhD from the University of Wisconsin. Because my degrees are in English, but I have a PhD minor in speech, I teach Comp 1 and 2. I teach British Literature 1 and 2. Once I taught poetry, and I've taught I think a reading and study skills course once, and I teach public speaking and interpersonal communication, and once I taught small groups. Okay, I decided to become a college instructor because I loved reading, and I was an English major, and if you're an English major, you consider teaching, so I sort of blundered into it. Little did I realize, of course, that if you're an English major and you go into teaching, most of the reading you're going to do is going to be of student work. But I am a teacher because of students. I think that interacting with them is fun, and helping them acquire skills or learn new things is something I really enjoy. Besides, just getting to know them and the interaction is worthwhile in itself. My favorite class is probably British Literature, partly because I don't get to teach it that often. And I do love the literature. Interestingly enough, I don't necessarily think that what I like best is what I teach best. Because if you really like it, you have a tendency to talk too much. And it's really the students that you want to get to talk. So I sometimes have to rein myself in. But in addition, any topic that gets the students going, and as sometimes happens, if I get so much interaction that I can break them off and have them argue with each other, so much the better. Okay, I mentioned breaking up into groups. It's a little too early to have had anything major yet this semester, because this is the 5th week in. But last semester and last year I had a lot of stuff that I like. In general, let's start simple. I think the most important course I teach may well be Comp 1. It's not the most exciting, and strangely enough, there isn't a lot of competition to teach it if you could teach something else, but it really is important that people know how to write in such a way that they can function. And also part of our course is teaching them to think and argue, even if it's things as how cause and effect really work. And whenever I see a student get it, even if it's where to put the commas, in fact, especially then, I really like that. Now, last year, I did have an occasion when the class got really excited in Brit Lit about something in Believe It or Not, Chaucer's Wife of Bath's Tale. I think the idea was that women want more than anything else control of their husbands, and we had a big argument about that. Well, the class did. I just sort of refereed, which is fun in its own way. And there are other arguments about works of literature, and in public speaking, when I get to the one-on-one debates and the students go at each other, I like to see how much they've learned and what they can do there, and that often really does it for me. Last year I had one student who was very quiet most of the semester, and another student picked her to debate because she thought it would be easy. It wasn't, and they both stretched themselves, which was good. Well, unsurprisingly, I like to read and write. I also fish and swim, and when I get a chance, canoe, which means I go up to northern Minnesota when I get the chance and do those things up there. But most of my time, I'd have to say I spent reading and writing.